YOLO, it's Yoshi, welcome to another game review where today I'll be talking a little bit about My Time at Portia, a game that I bought the day it was released for Switch in yet another desperate attempt to talk about something before it got old and irrelevant. Yeah, so much for that. It's not my fault, okay? I didn't know it was gonna be that long. My Time at Portia. Imagine if you took Harvest Moon, Breath of the Wild, and Minecraft, put them all in a blender, poured them out onto a frosty glass top with whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and maybe a cherry on top. I forgot where this was going. It's the perfect combo of the aforementioned games, with Breath of the Wild's adventure and combat, gathering resources and building structures similar to Minecraft, and Harvest Moon's emphasis on improving relationships with the NPCs around you. The game starts in the traditional way most farm simulation games do. Your father leaves you his old house in a faraway town, and now you gotta move in and take up his old job. The property is small, the house is barren, and the floorboards are a bit torn up, but hopefully that will all change in time. So, you've just moved into a new town filled with tons of people you've never met before. And what's the best way to get familiar with your new neighbors? Well, by beating them up, of course. You can spar with just about anyone you come across, and I spent quite a long time just running around beating the snot out of anyone who stood still long enough for me to challenge them. Take that, Presley! Everyone in this town is actually pretty strong. Maybe I gotta level up a little bit first? Alright, that's it. For now on, I'm spending all my skill points on fighting and nothing else. After we prove to the guy at the commissions board that we're good at crafting items, we can finally take on commissions as an official builder, which is the main objective of the game. Townsfolk will post commissions of items they need made, and it's our job to gather the necessary resources and put the products together for them. As you progress through the game, you'll unlock new machines to place in your yard, which help produce items faster and can craft items that were previously unobtainable. But if we're gonna rise up above these other schmucks and become the best builder in the whole world, we're gonna have to come up with a pretty cool name for our workshop. How about Yesh's Pizza? Seems pretty fitting for a game that has absolutely nothing to do with pizza in the slightest. The building elements in this game are actually pretty fun. As mentioned before, it reminds me of Minecraft in the best way, and it's refreshing to play a farm sim game that's not actually about farming at all. Well, that's not totally accurate to say. You can start a farm if you want to, but it's not really that profitable, and given how much space it takes up, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing it too much, unless you need a specific item that can only be gathered via growing it. I literally created a mini farm of ruby trees. Yes, ruby trees. And even then was only able to make a measly few $1,000s every time they were ripe, which, mind you, is not very often. So yeah, basically, don't do that. There's also a heavy focus on improving your relationships with the other residents of the city by giving them gifts, completing their side quests, or just interacting with them on a daily basis. The game constantly advises you to befriend as many people as possible and to raise their relationship level as high as you can, which is definitely something you should do considering the perks you can get from the townsfolk if they're good friends with you. Shopkeepers, for example, will charge less money depending on how close the two of you are, and some characters will even periodically send you money or gifts through the mail if you're close enough with them. There are over 50 NPCs to talk to and interact with, and while a few of them are a bit forgettable, most of them are actually pretty interesting. You got Remington the cop, Gale the mayor, Mint who shows up halfway through the main story, and well, I don't really know what he does. And Higgins, another builder who's your arch nemesis and is constantly trying to scam you out of your money and items. There's also a giant bear in a bathrobe running around, but I just kind of avoid that guy as much as I can. If you raise your relationship level with someone high enough, you can even propose to them and get married, provided you upgrade your house enough and fulfill the other requirements. The girl I chose to marry was the mayor's daughter, Ginger, because number one, her father said he'd give me lots of money if I did, and number two, considering she only comes out at night and has some sort of aversion to sunlight, I'm about 80 to 90% sure she's secretly a vampire. And that's pretty cool. If you buy a sweetheart cake and give it to your spouse, you can change the nickname they call you by. And of course I had to abuse this in the most hilarious way I could think of. Yo dog, don't work yourself too hard. I know the workshop is important to you, but you've got to take care of yourself first. Dang. Thanks for looking out for me, homie. After marriage, you can also have children if you want to, either by birth or by adoption at the local church. Everyone please give a warm welcome to my beautiful daughter, Geraldo. I accidentally named her that, and I don't know how to change it, so sorry, Geraldo. I guess that's your name now. Tell me about it. I mean, Geraldo is just about the worst name you could possibly have. Anyone named Geraldo is just a complete moron. I'm just messing with you, buddy. The babies don't really do anything, actually. They just kind of sit there and demand you bring them toys, which is kind of frustrating considering how much time and money I put into upgrading my house just so I could unlock having children. They never grow out of being babies either, which is just a big missed opportunity in my opinion. It would have been tons of fun watching my kid grow up and becoming an actual NPC I can interact with. But they're so insignificant, even the townsfolk don't acknowledge my children, including my wife, who literally gave birth to them. So, honey, isn't our baby amazing? Okay then, but you know what the best thing about the babies are? Sprinting around at top speed while carrying them. I don't know why, but it cracks me up. It's like we're on the brink of some imminent disaster and I gotta get my child to safety. Everybody run for your lives! We've only got 2 minutes until the entire world explodes! Get the children to the escape pods! I'm kinda tired from all that running around. Why not get a mount? If you build a trap box and leave bait in it overnight, you have a random chance of waking up to find a llama trapped inside, which you can attempt to tame with the short rhythm minigame. Once the llama is tamed, you can name and permanently keep it, provided you have a stable built in your yard, and let me just say, it is definitely worth it as they let you move way faster than you can on foot. Here's my trusty steed, Corn, which I named after his favorite food, even though Corn doesn't exist in the game. But if it did, he would definitely love it. I can just tell by the look on his face. He's also constantly angry at me, no matter what or how often I feed him. Although sometimes he'll have absolutely no food and be thrilled about it. It doesn't really have any impact on anything though, so whatever. And I haven't even talked about the main story yet, because it's not important. Basically, the main story is as follows. A long time ago, there was a dark point in history known as the Age of Corruption, when all these robots rose up against humans and destroyed civilization. Then some guy named Peach showed up and destroyed all the robots, returning the world back to a peaceful state. This guy is a conspiracy theorist who thinks that technology is super evil and it's gonna destroy the world if we ever use it again. But these people are scientists who are trying to uncover relics from the past and use the technology to help mankind. Then halfway through the game, this guy shows up and we find out about this ancient supercomputer known as the All Source, which is really important for some reason, and we have to get it before the bad guy gets it. And I don't really know why. And that's just about everything there is to it. And yet, one final question remains. Is it a good game? Well, yeah, obviously. Could you not tell? It's fun, addictive, and honestly just a great time all around. Even if the typical farm simulation games don't suit you, this game is so big you'll probably find at least something you like about it. There's only a few real quote-unquote problems I have with the game, and they're all mainly just technical issues. It was originally created as a PC game to release on Steam, and only back in May was it released on Nintendo Switch, and the port from PC to Switch kind of broke some aspects of the game. For one thing, the lag. Good lord, the lag. This is possibly the laggiest game I've ever played. It's not an FPS problem or anything like that, but the game freezes up for a good 5 seconds every time you open your inventory or enter a building or new area. It's incredibly frustrating, and when I first started playing, I just avoided opening my inventory as much as I could because it was just that bad. It also has a tendency to crash all the time, which is much more agonizing than you would think it'd be. The only way to save the game is to head back to your house and go to sleep, and when you're adventuring far away from home and don't want to run all the way back just to save, you're better off just crossing your fingers and hoping the game doesn't crash on you, causing you to lose all your progress for the day. And when the game does crash, it's infuriating because the game takes, and I know because I timed it, 3 whole minutes just to reload. Which doesn't sound like that much when I say it out loud, but just trust me, it's a lot, okay? The main story of the game is also really long. Like, it took me over 27 episodes to finish my playthrough of it. Specifically, 28. But that's not really a bad thing. In fact, it's probably a plus that this game has so much content in it. But if you can look past all the lag, or if they fix it in an update, it's still pretty awesome. All in all, I'd recommend you download the PC version of this game on Steam instead of playing the Switch version like I did. From what I can tell, most of the lag problems are fixed and the animation and sound effects are like 10 times better. And most importantly, the PC version has voice acting.
The safety of Portia is my #1 priority. If you see anything suspicious, just tell me.
If you want to see me do a playthrough of this game, I'll have a link at the end of the video you can click. Well, not a playthrough exactly. It's more like Yesh plays my Time at Portia with disastrous results, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, faithful members of the Yesh Army. And there it is. Hey, what's up, man?
You got mail.
Do you really have to do that every time? It gets kind of annoying. I assumed so by the way you approached my door and loudly announced that you had mail. Oh no, I am not taking another one of those boxes. Okay, I don't know who keeps sending me these, but every time I open one, I get horribly injured in some way. Well good, because I'm not gonna. It's stupid, it's painful, and it can only end badly. Yeah, I'll take it. Welcome back to another great unboxing video, guys. What's this? Dear Yeshio, by the time you get this letter, I will be on the other side of the world. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about everything. I left you my old workshop in a small town on the shore. I know that you'll do great. Signed, Pablo. Do I know anyone named Pablo? Whatever, let's go! Alright, I'm ready for my free house! Huh. Another note. Before you can move in, you first have to build this machine to prove your worthiness. Follow the attached blueprints. Okay. Alright, finally finished. Now all I gotta do is press this button right here. Uh-oh.